Welcome to the Z Hut. Today I'm going to show you how to do star trail photography. Now, it was nice and clear last night for a little while. I was outside hoping to get some aurora pictures, but the clouds started moving in from the north just as they were starting to pop up. So I figured I'm already out there and I'll do some photography anyway, so I did some star trails. Now, to do this, you got to take the star pictures, and I didn't think you'd want to watch 20 minutes of me just standing there with the camera running, taking the pictures, because you need about 40 to 80 pictures to do a good star trail. So we'll just start up from here, and I'll tell you the settings in the camera. I was using a Canon 600D, and I was using an old Olympus 50mm 1.8 lens, and I had it wide open at 1.8, which the bigger you can get for the aperture, the better, because I was running 20-second exposures, and if you get a 1.4 or 1.2, you could probably drop down to 10-second exposures. I was running an ISO of 800, and I'll bring up one of the pictures here. Let's see. That's the first picture in the sequence I took, and this sequence was 42 pictures. And also, you want to do a dark frame, which is a picture where you got like your lens cap on or put something in front of the lens, and I don't have a lens cap for that old Olympus lens, so what I did is I just took my hat off, put it in front of it, and took the picture. And what that does is it captures a picture that shows the noise. And the software I'm going to show you here in a minute has an option to load a dark frame into it, and it'll take the noise out of the picture, which will save you a lot of photoshopping afterwards. So the software I'm using for doing this is completely free. Bring it up here. It's called Star Trails, and this is the website right here. And I'll put this link to this website in the description. And you just scroll down, and you want to go down here, right here, and download this. And what this does is it stacks the pictures to give you the star trail. And right here, this is a picture that kind of shows you what it looked like. This guy probably did around 100 some pictures to get that nice spin like that. So what you do is you open up the program, and here it is right here. Then you go to File, Open Images, and here are my images. And I'll just select all of them. Open. Alright, and there they are all listed. Then you go to File. Then you go to Open Dark Frames. Now, some people take 2, 3 dark frames, but I just took one, and that should be enough. Let's see here. There it is right there. There's my dark frame. You load that in. Then you go and you click on Build. And then you want to go Star Trails. Now, they got this faster version, which you can see right here. It's got little gaps between them because it's a time lapse. And before I forget, got to back up here for a second. I forgot to tell you, when you're taking these, you're going to want to set the camera And of course, my setting was 20 seconds exposures, and I set it to continuous shooting in the menu. And then I got a remote shutter release that has a locking function. So once I push the button down, I can slide it forward and lock it in. It'll take a picture for a 20-second exposure. It'll stop, and then it'll take another picture, stop, take another picture. And that's what you want to do. Now, depending on your camera and your lens, I was using a 1.8. If you got a bigger aperture, you could probably run less time, like 10 seconds or so, or you could turn your ISO down to reduce noise. But if you're using a kit lens that comes with the camera, like the 600D comes, was at 17 to 55, if I remember right. And that's roughly around a f5, somewhere right in there. You're gonna have to run probably a 30-second exposure if you're running an f5 or up in that words. But try to stay under 50 millimeters when you do this. Otherwise, it's not gonna look very good. And you can try it out if you don't trust my opinion, but 50 millimeter is a really good millimeter lens to use to do this, and a prime lens is the best if you have it. But if you don't, use your kit lens or whatever. And 17 to 55, and you run it down to 17, you'll get more of the sky and more of the stars, and your aperture will be lower, so that might be what you want to do. Like I said, you can go with this lighting, which is the first option, and you can see in the picture it's got little gaps between it. Otherwise, they got this light and screen blend where it blends them in so you don't have the gaps, and that's what I'm going to go ahead and use. So I'll click OK. And in just a moment here, we should start seeing something. There we go. Now you can see I got just the top of a pine tree that was in my backyard. I put it in there, to give you something besides just the stars to look at. And next time I do this, I'm probably going to put the pine tree further up into the frame. It's on frame 2. You can see it's starting. There we go. It's starting to make the star trails. I'll let this run for a moment here. Get a couple frames in. Then I'll pause it because this program, it'll take about 5 minutes or so. And I don't think you just want to sit for 5 minutes watching it process. Let it do one more, and then I'll go ahead and pause it. There we go. You can see they're getting longer and they're getting longer. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pause this video until it finishes processing this. So I'll see you back in just a moment. Alright, we're back. Now this is the finished picture. As you can see, the pine tree is a little brighter now because it was stacking all the pictures together, so it brightened it up a little bit. And like I said, next time I do this, I'm going to put the pine tree further up. Now, the more pictures you take, the longer the star trails are going to be. So, go ahead and play around. Take 80, 100 pictures. That'll give you nice long star trails, but I just did a short one. I think it was around, I said about 40 some pictures, and it came out pretty decent. It's not the most spectacular photo in the world, but I think it looks pretty cool. So now that we got this done, then what you got to do is you got to save it. You go under File, Save Image, and we'll just add a couple numbers on there so I don't accidentally write over any image I got. We'll save. Bam, it's saved. Then you go into Photoshop or GIMP or whatever program you're using. As you can see right here, that's noise, that little red dot there. There's another one there. There's about a dozen of them in here. I see another one up there. Another one right there. One down here. That's going to happen, but the good thing is, by using that dark frame, there'd be way more of them in there. Lots more of them. And that saved some post-processing time, big time. So, I can't think of really anything else to say about this program, except I do recommend using it. I mean, it's free. Completely free. It's freeware, so go ahead and download it and get your camera out and go outside and take some pictures of the stars and have some fun. So with that, I'll say thank you for joining us here at the Z Hut, and I hope to see you again on a future episode.